We have now interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you.
Hey, yo, Joe.
What's up, Roscoe?
Hey, I was wondering if you was familiar with this law that's being introduced in New York. Well, that has been introduced recently. That's saying, let me take a look here. It says New York lawmakers plan to introduce bill to ban prosecutors from using rap lyrics as evidence in court.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to have a discussion about this because I thought that this was something that was important, especially in today's rap landscape, seeing that we've had a few entertainers, rappers in general, who have had their lyrics used against them in the court of law to actually put them behind bars. So now with this law being introduced, it could change that whole landscape. So I just wanted to have a little back and forth between me and you about that whole deal, see what your thoughts was on that particular thing.
That's interesting because it says it's in New York. The big rotten apple, that rotten ass apple, New York. And it says two lawmakers. Politicians, huh?
Yeah.
They want prosecutors to stop using lyrics of rap artists against them. Damn, it must be a problem out there.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a heavy enough problem. I know we've had Bobby Shmurda, as a matter of fact, amongst some other guys. I know Boosie has been another guy where they tried to use his lyrics. I think they actually sat in court and played like maybe his whole album. And you know, Boosie, he's talking about all kind of crazy stuff in his album. So they were actually trying to use these lyrics to paint a picture of his character, you know, basically. So yeah, these are the type of things that they've used in the past. So if this is going to be something that they at the end finally introduce into law and make it a law, then I think that like I said, it'll change the landscape. Rappers will be able to kind of have the freedom of speech that they should have had the whole time anyway.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they're citing: freedom of artistic expression, and how there are often preconceived notions about the genre. I would assume that those preconceived notions are from the police, a lot of the prosecutors, probably even a lot of the judges too. And that's why it's so problematic. I know we've had discussions about this in the past about how rap music should be akin to action movie where, you know, fools are getting thrown off of buildings like the Untouchables. You know, you don't see them going around arresting, what's the dude's name?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Just get that man out the building. I saw you.
Right.
You know, but I can just imagine they're listening to hip hop lyrics. They're writing stuff down. A body where?
Yeah.
In the Hudson.
Yeah. No, they're doing exactly that. And what's even worse is, you know, well, in Shmurda's case, he actually was kind of telling like legit logistics. You know what I mean?
It was very detailed.
Right. Yeah, right in the song, he's like mapping out, you know, exactly who did what and why they did it, all this other stuff. So yeah, it was pretty easy for the prosecutors to kind of piece it all together once they wrote it down. Like, yeah, he said this guy did this.
Wait. GS9 was walking the crime scene for the detectives. They were telling details that only the detectives should know.
Right. You know, so it's just one of those things, man. These guys, they, you know, you got some guys who are actually telling on themselves, so they being complete morons, you know. But I mean, that goes back to something we've talked about in past shows just about how in the culture of hip hop, it's stressed to keep it real and all this other stuff when that shouldn't even be a thing. I don't know why it is. It's just it should be looked at as entertainment only, and that's it. You know, we shouldn't be taking it past that. But for whatever reason, our genre, you know, they put that stigma on us when, like you said, actors and other entertainers really don't have that same burden.
Right. Because I just to make a correlation, I'm pretty sure there probably, just to be realistic, there probably are some rappers out here rapping about maybe not a crime they committed, but maybe crime that they know about. But people actually do die on movie sets. You know, as recent as like Alec Baldwin shooting a woman on a movie set. That's not funny. No. But Alec Baldwin shooting a woman on a movie set. I remember like when they were doing the Twilight Zone movie back in the 80s, how Vic Morrow got his head chopped off. You know, these things happen. And so I think it's problematic. I'm gonna tell you why. We already know that the police have a very, very bad reputation in melanin-rich communities. FBI has already released a report from an investigation that said law enforcement on all levels has already been infiltrated by white supremacist organizations. And we don't know how deep and or how pervasive that is. And it makes me think about a particular song. You remember Prince Paul?
Yes.
Formerly of the Jungle Brothers.
Oh yeah. And De La Soul producer, you know. So yeah, I definitely mess with Prince Paul.
The JBs. I just love the Jungle Brothers.
Part of the he was part of Stetsasonic too.
Stetsasonic. Yeah, he produced some songs for the JBs.
Yeah. He was part of Stet and De La Soul.
Yes, indeed. But he had an album out, Prince Among Thieves. It was like a theme album.
Mm-hmm.
And it dealt with this character, Tariq. You know, he's going through the city, living his life, and some activities he probably shouldn't have been involved in. His grandmother's trying to tell him to get his life together. His woman's trying to tell him to get his life together. He gets into a beef with his boy. But there's a particular song from the rapper Everlast from the group House of Pain called The Men in Blue. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Love the song. Love that song.
Dope song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put the description of the song. I'm going to put a link of the song in the description of this video.
Right. Dope ass song though. Dope song.
Dope ass song. But Everlast says some real stuff in this song. Like the here it go. He says he's a bad lieutenant. That's a harken to the Harvey Keitel movie about a real bad lieutenant. But he was like running up in your tenement, running up in your house. He ain't got no warrant or nothing. Putting evidence on any black resident. That sounds like some stuff we've actually seen on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, this bill is being proposed in New York, but he says New York's largest crew is the Men in Blue. Guess what? He ain't talking about the Crips.
Definitely ain't. Blue code.
The thin blue line, as they say.
Yeah.
He said, we stick together like glue and make lies come true. I'm gonna stop right there, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, great song, you know, but yeah, no, those, the lyrics in that song just point out, that definitely illustrates, you know, the life of a bad cop very well, you know, but, yeah, no, this law again is a good thing. But we do know that we live in a country to where if they really want to get you, they will get you. They don't really need real evidence here in you know, America. So, you know, if they want to get you, and if they feel like you've blossomed to a point that's a little too big for their liking, you know, they'll put you back in your place. So
What's so funny about you saying that, about putting somebody in a place? Just to go a little bit deeper on these lyrics. You're gonna hear this song. If you've never heard this song, you're gonna love this song and hate it at the same time.
Give it a listen.
He says, "My name is Officer O'Malley. I'll shoot you in the alley and burn you at the cross like a freaking Klan rally." He goes on further and says, he said, "I confiscate your chronic and let you keep the stress. That is unless you want to try and test. I'm DT undercover. I locked up your mother." Man, this is some real stuff right here, man. And so when I think about lyrics like this, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know Everlast, the rapper, or what his politics are, but he is a part of the hip hop community, has been for a very long time. I'm sure he has some sympathy and or empathy for a lot of melanin rich people who have gone through stuff just like this.
I like to hope so. I like to hope so, because we've had some people in hip hop now who just because they are part of the genre don't necessarily mean that they sympathize with the plight. Ergo Kid Rock.
Yeah, but Kid Rock, he abandoned the genre.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean,
I think his heart was ever in it in the first place.
Yeah, no, I mean, he started off there, and you know what I mean. He ended up going off into some other stuff, but I mean, the same thing ended up happening with Everlast. You know what I mean? Like he ventured off into doing some other stuff, like folksy kind of stuff, and you know, playing around with the guitar and all that. So he's been able to expand himself, and as far as I know, not been able to lose himself the way that your man's has.
Whose man's? And my man's.
Your man's and them Kid Rock. You know what I mean?
He's not my man's.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I just hope that at the end of the day that your man Everlast is on the right side of the fight. That's all.
No, with Kid Rock, he's not my man's, but with these hands, we can shoot the 5. You know what I'm saying?
Five, touch this stage. Touch this stage.
I never liked Kid Rock. To me, like, and I may come off a little prejudiced or whatever. I'm leery of any Caucasian invading the culture, only because of what the culture has meant to us for so long. I understand that these people get in. I always think of how Pink, she started off on LaFace as a R&B singer. And then, you know, she kind of had a lot of disparaging words to say about different Black people over the years. Situations she probably should have kept her mouth shut on. But because she had a platform, she decided to speak on it. I'm always leery of that. Even looking at little Hannah Montana, what's her name? Millie Silly? Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus, not Millie Silly, even though she is a silly girl. You know, she breaks into the hip hop genre to get some recognition. You know, it's funny how these people, they act wretched. Not ratchet, but wretched. What did they say on Star Wars? Mos Eisley Cantina. You'll never find a more wretched vibe of scum and villainy. It's funny how these people infiltrate the hip hop genre and they act loose, you know. They put this image out, you know, who knows how many young, impressionable Black girls, you know, followed the antics of Miley Cyrus, and they don't have the money to clean up their act. Because if you look at her now, she doesn't do all that ratchet stuff. She's dating Liam Hemsworth, or at least the last I heard. You know, they allowed her to come back, like, you know, she was just a little sick. She had to go get it out of her system. Come on back home, you know. And she gets to go and live a posh lifestyle, whereas a lot of our young girls, they start living that debauched lifestyle, and they're on that path for the rest of their lives. And they can't find quality men. And so I don't like how the others can come into our community and then just abandon it just as quickly as they picked it up. I don't know. That's just me, though. That's just my personal take on a lot of things. But yeah, man, this bill, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the news as time goes on. I don't know what the conviction rate is on a lot of these cases, but it must be very high for them to be making a bill to try to not include those lyrics as a means to prosecute these rappers, individuals, you name it. So something's going on out there in New York. We're just not aware of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just hope that that the rappers have the freedom to be able to express themselves and say what they want to say. But and again, when you have this type of responsibility kind of heaped on you, man, how do you use it, or how you're using it is very important. So the fact that they will be given this freedom, hopefully, now I'm just anxious to see like what rappers are gonna do with it, which I expect it to be kind of the status quo and keep doing what they've been doing, but at least they won't get thrown in jail for doing the same thing that Quentin Tarantino is doing on fucking screens and shit like that. So
just to play devil's advocate for a minute before we get up out of here. And this is just my opinion. I am one half of the Warheads, but I've always felt like a lot of hip hop music would be music that a lot of racists would like. I always think of that scene in Tales from the Hood, where Lamont Bentley's character is talking to the Nazi nigga and how he's praising him for killing black men, and how in his new world, how Lamont Bentley can be his pet, And whenever I listen to a lot of hip hop, or I can't even call it hip hop, rap lyrics, it does have a very hateful spirit to it. The men towards the men, the men towards the women towards themselves, just a lack of loyalty, a lack of respect. You hear people talking about, I slept with your girl, I slept with your wife. That's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to a man. Them is more than fighting words. Them is, I'm gonna put you 6 feet under words, and probably deeper if I have the stamina to dig this hole deeper. And so hip hop, or rap, I should say, today is very deconstructive. It doesn't build. Hip hop used to mean higher infinite power helping our people. I don't know what this stuff is today. And I would assume that a lot of men from the Klan can listen to it like, yeah, these niggas is killing each other, and be happy about it. So, maybe we should have a discussion about this a little bit later, but I just wanted to kind of introduce that point for maybe a later show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's something that we could definitely touch on and delve into, at a later date. But yeah, I guess we pretty much said all we've had to say on this particular thing. That was a very good point, by the way, because I do agree with the fact that this is pretty much death music and a very destructive music that we putting out there. It has been for a long time. I can't even really say that it's just this generation. This goes back to when we were kids. A little bit after we were initially introduced to it. It's when some of the destructive stuff would happen. But yeah, it just is what it is right now. Hopefully, guys like us putting a spotlight on it, and maybe other people saying something about it, because I keep on thinking to myself, like, we have to continue, even though we think that it's hopeless, a lot of us continue to keep on pushing the envelope that this stuff is It's got to change. It got to go back to when it was fun and when we could just enjoy ourselves without worrying about dying or talking about dying or being disrespectful in the music. You know, we can have music without that.
Agree. You got anything before we get up out of here?
Nope.
Warheads out.